Hello, everyone. Welcome to dentaljobs.co.uk's first ever podcast. I'm delighted to welcome our first guest on the show, Nicola Logan. Nicola is head of HR with Clyde Munro. During today's podcast, Nicola will be sharing her experiences working within HR and dentistry. As it's International Women's Day, she will also be exploring ways in which women can get involved with the dentistry sector. Nicola, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us. If you just want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicola Logan. So I head up the HR team for Clyde Munro Dental Group. So we are a dental group based in Scotland. We have 80 practices based all over Scotland. So we're as high up as the islands, and we go all down to the borders, and we're in all the major cities. And my, I suppose, main job for the group is to look after everything for the team. So from the HR side, I cover everything from recruitment to learning development, do a bit of payroll. We look after the well-being kind of aspects of the business. We do a lot of engagement, and with dentistry, we look after a lot of the self-employed model with the associates. So I do a lot of contractual arrangements there, and kind of support and well-being alongside the clinical team. So big role.
It sounds like a very varied job that you have. Tell us when you first started your career within HR and more specifically Clyde.
Yeah, so I started I did uni, and I went to university up in Glasgow, Strathclyde, and I spent 4 years doing international business. So I didn't actually do HR. And I took a little bit of time out after that, and then got my first kind of HR admin job within hospitality.
Okay.
So my background is kind of hospitality, which is a wee bit different from dentistry.
Yep.
And I worked there for around 5 years. Just went in at the bottom and learned the ropes. So I started out there and worked up to HR officer, HR manager, and then I went to HR business partner. And that's when I suppose the opportunity for Clyde Munro came up. I do have a sister that's a dentist, so I am a wee bit clued in on dentistry. So so I did know some things, very little compared to what I'm aware of now. And yeah, I joined Clyde Munro back in 2019, and I went in as a HR manager. And I suppose we were around 23 practices, so huge growth since I've joined. We're now sitting at around 80. And it's just been, I suppose, a bit of a whirlwind in the last, and coming up to about 4 years with Clyde Munro. So I started off as a HR manager, and then I went to kind of head of HR around kind of towards the end of 2020, probably as we hit the COVID periods, because I think the people aspect really shone through there. And we did a lot of work, obviously, with the teams. So yeah, so that's my journey today, I suppose, and that's how I kind of came to Clyde Munro and into the dentistry world.
You've really been involved with Clyde Munro through kind of the growth stages from 23 practices to where you guys are now. So that must have been really exciting. Must have been some challenges in there as well, but I mean that's fantastic growth as an organisation, and also yourself.
Yes, I think for us it's been, as I say, a whirlwind. I can't believe sometimes I've been with the group for 4 years, and the things that we've achieved, and the initiatives we've worked on, what we've implemented. I mean, it's pretty amazing, and the things we've built, especially from the people side. It's just everything we've got in place now, from our training academy that we opened this year, which is a kind of state-of-the-art facility in Perth with phantom heads. It's the biggest outside of the dental schools, so we're incredibly proud of that. But I think just making sure that we've supported people through our growth. I mean, going from 23 practices when I first joined to 80 is a huge learning curve, and we don't always get it right. It's important to put that out there. But I think focusing on all the different things that we work on from the people side and in the wider business is been like huge. And for my development personally, the things that I do as a HR professional within Clyde Munro is just keeps me, I suppose, developing and growing within my role. And I suppose working across so many different functions. I think within dentistry, we have huge opportunity to really change the landscape there. I think working from, I suppose, a slightly bigger kind of corporate background in hospitality, which carries a lot of the same values that we have within Clyde Munro, but shaping the way dentistry is looked at and the way bigger groups are looked at has been a huge part of my role for the last couple of years, and really making sure that we're promoting the benefits of being part of a bigger group and that we're showing the opportunities within dentistry now. I think it's come from a different stage of maybe a lot of independent practices and a different pathway for nurses, for dentists, and we're trying to kind of open the doors now, and really show the progression and the opportunity, and I suppose the investment now. I think can't talk about dentistry without talking about digital now, I think, is the next stage. But yeah, so I mean, last 4 years for Clyde Munro has been huge, and I've obviously developed through that and taken on a bigger role, I suppose. Having different things now under my remit has really progressed where we are now, and obviously really how we bring our people on that journey and the culture that we have within Clyde Munro.
I mean, from the listeners' point of view, and also myself, it does sound that you've really progressed and kind of grown with Clyde over the years. So massive congratulations.
Yep.
I'm sure more opportunities will come as well your way. So well done on that. I suppose some of the listeners today and future listeners will kind of want to understand what is the career pathway within Clyde. Maybe somebody starting out as a dental nurse. What is the kind of the stages there for growth?
So I think career pathway and progression is one of the reasons, I suppose, I love working within Clyde Munro, and it's something that I've seen a lot from my past roles, is that some people view businesses as being very quite, that's what you have in a practice. So you have a dental nurse, you have a practice manager, and you have the dentist. And companies aren't like that. We run a head office now in Glasgow with an accountant team, a HR team, a marketing team, a facilities team, obviously, that go in and obviously support the running of the practices. So huge opportunity across these businesses that I don't think people are aware of. So part of my role has been to really open up the doors to that and really show people the opportunities within dentistry. And for dental nurses, this is a huge passion of mine, that we show the different career steps that you can take now. It's not you go into becoming a trainee and you become a dental nurse and maybe you stay in that role for 20, 30 years and that's all that's maybe available. Obviously there's a practice manager, but what we see quite a lot of time is sometimes that position can stay in place for a really long time. And if you're a dental nurse kind of working up through kind of lead nurse into practice coordinator, you probably might hit a bit of a wall because there's then not maybe an opportunity because someone's had that role for a while. So in Clyde Munro, I think the opportunities for people to progress are huge, and it's something we have invested in and really tried to kind of promote, and it's something I'm hugely passionate about. I think the fact that we can offer these opportunities now across dentistry. So a trainee dental nurse can come in to the group now, do their training. We actually have launched a trainee dental nurse programme to really support trainee dental nurses, because again, another huge passion of mine is really trying to promote people to come into the industry, but to understand what it is, and to understand that it's, you're coming into a healthcare business, you've got to really appreciate that. But there is progression, there's opportunities now. We're all over Scotland, so if you come in and you're working, I don't know, down in Ayrshire and you want to move into Glasgow, we offer that transfer. But also I think for me is showing a career pathway into different roles. So trainee dental nurse now can move into a qualified dental nurse, into lead nurse role. We've actually recently created a patient care coordinator role. So this is purely for our digital pathway, which is a huge opportunity for dental nurses to really work with the digital technology. And through our trainee programme that we run, the Strive programme, we focus heavily on digital, because this is the generation that are taking digital through dentistry. So they've got to come on board day one, and they see the scanner, they see how it works, and they're starting to learn a new way of dentistry. So that's hugely important. So the PCC roles there, then there's lead nurse, practice coordinator, practice manager. There's an opportunity maybe to be a slight multi-site manager if some of our practices are closer together. And then we run an operational team. So I think our full operational team are, I don't say ex-dental nurses because they're still GDC registered and they're very much hands-on, but they've come through that pathway and they've progressed into these roles where they now oversee around 20 practices. And then our head of operations, Emma O'Shea, is from a dental nurse background. Fiona, who's our chief operating officer, is from a dental nurse background. So I'm hugely passionate about showcasing that journey, and making sure our trainees know that these are the opportunities that are out there now. And it's not, you don't reach a certain stage and then have to think, maybe I need to do something else if I want to keep developing. The pathway sometimes with dental nurses is they might go into kind of specialisation or work with a dentist that has special interests in something else. But now we show that there's career development, and a pathway, but also with our dentists as well. I feel like sometimes from the people side, I come hugely passionate on the nursing side, but I mean, promoting the support that we offer our dentists is so key as well. I mean, we're doing a lot around now our VT programme. So up in Scotland, that's the first year out for our dental students, and making sure that we're nurturing them, we're bringing them together, we're letting them network. We had an event last weekend, actually, our Flying Start programme, which is for dentists in their kind of first 5 years of qualifying. But we invited our vocational trainees there because we want to show them like that this is the opportunity that they can have if they do wish to continue with Clyde Munro, but also to provide them with training in the likes of digital. Or we did a session on ESG, which is a huge focus for us as we kind of move dentistry on into the future. So the progression there with dentists as well, I think we've got a widely kind of experienced clinical team that can offer kind of mentoring or one-to-one support for our clinicians, and to really help them develop. I think sometimes we see they come out of dentistry and they kind of go into their surgery, and they might do a little bit extra study, and obviously they've got to do their CPD, but do they really know what they want to focus in on? Do they hear the buzzwords and they want to focus in on that kind of special interest? So being able to provide them with the opportunity maybe to go and shadow a dentist that we may have that's working in a certain area, whether it's placing implants or sedation, or maybe ortho. We actually have a dentist that's due to go and study her master's in orthodontics that we're supporting with, to make sure that she feels like she can continue her studies and everything, whilst working within the group. So yeah, I think for us, that is a huge part, Clyde Munro, and that's about our culture. It's supporting our teams, it's investing in our teams, and it's really showing a pathway through, as well as if a dental nurse or a dentist wants to start coming into a more kind of support team role, we're very open to that. Jackie Frederick, who's our clinical director, has a clinical team, but also that are from dentists that have come from loads of different backgrounds, and the rest of our teams, we welcome internal promotion and recruitment within the teams to make sure that people see that they've got progression within Clyde Munro.
I think what's, Nicola, what's really fantastic to hear is kind of the details in what you've gone into in terms of the career path and what you as an organisation offer, and it really does sound like you're really invested in tomorrow's future, which I think is really important in today's candidate market.
Oh, absolutely.
Candidates are looking at their next employer, and I think what you've just discussed really is fantastic. Having somebody take a master's and you're looking to support that as an organisation, I think is fantastic. So yeah, it's people listening to this today will be pretty impressed, and you should be very proud of what you're doing, and obviously continue to do as well. So that's fantastic. I think a question that I'd like to touch on, if I may, is women in leadership, and the opportunities that exist with Clyde. What could you share with us on that today?
So I mean, I've never probably worked in a more supportive business. I mean, we are quite a small leadership team within Clyde Munro. There's 6 of us and 4 of us are females. So and then we have an extended leadership team of 9, and the additional 3, 2 of them are females with 1 male. So we're incredibly supportive of women in leadership. I mean, most of our teams are predominantly female. I'll have to just say that. So for us, it's really about providing the opportunities for females and offering a career pathway, and really allowing everyone to kind of progress within Clyde Munro and working. We're incredibly passionate about offering as flexible working patterns as possible. I mean, we from our practices, obviously we're heavily flexible on the different hours that people work and making sure things work around any kind of commitments. And then from our head office team, we have the flexibility, obviously, of I suppose the hybrid working now that's across everywhere after COVID. But that works for us because we are Scottish based, so we're everywhere over Scotland. We're not just all in Glasgow where our head office is. So women in leadership for Clyde Munro is a huge focus. I mean, we bring, not to be biased, but we definitely bring a few other things to the table.
I absolutely agree.
But I think an important thing when we talk about women in leadership is that we have a very the males that are in our senior leadership team are incredibly supportive of female leadership. And that's hugely important to me in a business I work in, that they understand that that's important. So as a team of 6 with 4 of us being female, it works so well for us. And Clyde Munro, all I see is females coming up, and you're incredibly proud to see that progression. And like our whole operations team are females, so it's amazing to see like what they've managed to achieve. And another thing I suppose not talking about women, but like age range as well. Like we're hugely progressive on young talent. I think when you work in a business like dentistry, I mean, you've got to identify people that want to progress and give them that opportunity and give them the tools that they need, no matter what age they are. I think we've got some incredibly good people performing at all different levels. So for me, Clyde Munro is incredibly supportive on women in leadership. The other thing is we're very supportive on family friendly policies. We put in enhanced maternity quite a while back. It was something that I was very passionate on. We run a predominantly female workforce. The fact that we were running on statutory terms was just not something that I thought was the right thing to do. So we've had that in place for quite a few years. Obviously, we're always looking to bring in different things, enhance that in any way we can, but really trying to support a female workforce and really allowing the same opportunities across the business.
I think it's really refreshing to kind of hear again, going back to what I said a moment ago, kind of the detail and the various points you guys are putting in place, to have a real good sort of career path, and also invest in tomorrow's future regardless of age. And I think that's fantastic, because look, there are organizations out there that don't necessarily invest in tomorrow's talent, which makes it more challenging for those people wishing to get into dentistry, with the right training and development. And it sounds to me that you guys have really worked hard on that, which is fantastic. And it'll be equally fantastic for the viewers and people considering careers with Clyde. The amount of information and detail you've gone into today, which is fantastic. I suppose that the last 2 points I'd love to be able to touch on with you is that what advice would you give young women entering the dentistry sector? That's my first question.
So I think for us to join dentistry, I mean, and I don't mean just Clyde Munro because I'm incredibly passionate about promoting the industry. I think, it needs to be sold more. I think people need to understand the opportunities within dentistry. Sometimes when younger people are looking for career pathways, they maybe don't know about dentistry the same in other kind of areas. I mean, I worked heavily in hospitality, and I don't think I was ever suggested to go into kind of, obviously I said my sister's a dentist, but I mean like from when I'm coming out of school and everything, and I was looking at different opportunities, like dental nursing or management within practice wasn't like high up in my agenda. So I think for anyone wanting to come into dentistry, is we welcome anyone to come in. We'll support anyone through the trainee programme. We do have our Clyde Munro Strive programme, that's an additional internal programme that we put in place that supports them on top of their training. And that gives people time really to come out of practice, be out of surgery. I mean, you can't underestimate the pressure that surrounds dentistry within practice. I mean, we're working at some pace. Patient demand is huge. I think so. We really give trainees the opportunity to come out of practice and go through different elements of the coursework that they're learning, practical and kind of like theory, to give them that opportunity to ask the questions, to really, no question is a stupid question, and allow them to get support. So I would say anyone that wants to come into dentistry should try it. And also, like, if you're considering doing dentistry, I suppose from a university route and coming out, that we have a supportive program in place in our Flying Start, for anyone that wants to kind of enter dentistry, to give them a understanding of different things that are coming within the industry, from the initiatives that we're doing from digital, but also just the support we can offer, and just to give it a go. I mean, I think we're hugely supportive, and we don't want to see anyone not enjoy dentistry. I think we're incredibly passionate about it. So yeah, so I think for anyone starting in the industry, give it a shot. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a tough job, I'm not going to lie. But I mean, we've got a huge team around us to support, and there's loads of opportunities that you'll quickly realise are available as soon as you enter the group.
Something that you mentioned a moment ago, does definitely strike a chord with myself, where you said, no question is a silly question, especially with new people coming into a business. A lot of people want to develop and want to ask questions, and I think having that safe environment, be able to ask questions and develop, I think is really important. I think there's many times where people want to kind of put their hand up and ask, but you have that kind of the afraid scenario to do that because they don't want to be looking silly. But it's down to us that you kind of advocate to say, look, ask us questions, develop with us, and I think that's really, really important to hear.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
Something
no,
really.
I think it's fantastic. I suppose, look, my last question, today is, what do you love about Clyde Munro? What is it, you get up for every day? What is it you really, because you come across extremely passionate today,
Yeah.
advocate, but what do you love?
So for me, I mean, sounds a bit cliche, but the people. I mean, the teams that we work with, the people that we have. I mean, our business is all built around the patient care that we offer, and making sure that we're offering like the best care to our patients. But I think the people that we have within our business is just what I enjoy. I enjoy working with the full team across the kind of support team that we have in Glasgow, and then also our practice teams. Is those people that make the job. And we've grown quite considerably over the last couple of years, and going on that journey with everyone has been unbelievable, and seeing the hard work and the passion people have. And as I like to kind of put it across, it dentistry, it is tough. It's a tough job for people to go into, and if you don't have that supportive culture that we like to create in Clyde Munro, then it makes it even harder. Like, you've got to enjoy where you're going every day. And we appreciate the amount of work people put in and the contribution everyone makes, and how hard everyone works within our practices and our kind of office staff. So I think just the people, and I also think how progressive we are as a business. I mean, we are juggling so many initiatives, but all positive. We're hugely focused in on digital dentistry. We're bringing in the newest technology and AI. We really want to make sure that not just that we're seen as like leading the industry, but that we're also doing the best for patients. And we're bringing an industry along. We're trying to change the mindset of people that, the opportunities within a bigger group is that you can have access to all this, as well as having the support, the training, the development, and the benefits that come along with that. So I think for me, what I, in a nutshell, love is the people, but also the good work that we're doing out there with in dentistry. And I think purely what I'm passionate about is promoting dentistry as a career pathway and really opening up the doors. I mean, I know I've probably talked quite heavily on the employee side with the nurses. I also do look after the dentists, but sometimes in dentistry, you get focused on in the dentist, and that is obviously such a priority. But I've really wanted to try and open up the doors for the progression on the nursing side and really show the opportunities that are there, because at the end of the day, our dentists can't work without their nurses. So we want to make sure that we support both and open the same opportunities to a career pathway within dentistry for dentists, but also for dental nurses as well.
It's been absolutely fantastic, sort of listening to you today. The passion that you have for Clyde Munro is exceptional. Obviously, massive congratulations on your career today. And it's going to be fantastic to see how things grow over the next couple of years. And thank you so much for being the first person to be on the Dental Jobs podcast. It's been brilliant, and I look forward to
Thanks so much for having me.
back next time. And thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Liz. Thank you.